Let's bring in Andrew Clennell now for the Clennell Crystal Ball. First of all, we were at the WA Labor launch a couple of weeks ago in Perth. A few Prime Ministers, former Prime Ministers there for Labor. There'll be another one emerging this week.
Yes, well, I guess hard to have Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd together after all their bad blood. So we saw Kevin Rudd and Paul Keating appear with Anthony Albanese at Labor's WA campaign launch this week. It's Julia Gillard's turn to travel from London and appear with the Labor leader.
And we previewed earlier that you would have your best prediction for the election. It's a brave one, 6 days out. So what is your prediction for election 2022?
Well, everyone's pretty nervous about predicting after last time, but this is the biggest test for the crystal ball yet, and I'm predicting a Labor win with between 76 and 80 seats. So a majority win, but a narrow majority. The coalition primary vote is the worst I've ever seen, but Albanese's performance and people being unconvinced about him has meant the Labor primary vote is only at 38 in the latest news poll. That suggests a big win for Labor is not on the way. Anything can happen in the last week, I guess, but it seems where things stand with the polling, the best the coalition can hope for is a hung parliament, and perhaps making it difficult for Labor to form government. Hopes of a coalition minority government are slim. And having said this, I expect it to be played at the midwinter ball this year if Scott Morrison does pull off another miracle, Kieran. But I'm hearing it from his side of the fence as well. I really think Labor is in the box seat, but I don't expect a massive victory. I mean, to win 10 seats, I guess, would be a big achievement for them, would see them in majority.
Now, one of the elements that Scott Morrison's got to grapple with, that he didn't have to grapple with in 2019, a huge change, really. When you look at the two elections, you've got to look at the Teal independence. What's the most likely outcome there, in your view?
All right, another tough one to predict, but I expect the Teal candidates to win 2 more seats, the GOLDSTEIN and North Sydney. That's unless Labor wins North Sydney with the help of the Teal, as hard to believe as that is. I'm thinking Josh Frydenberg just wins Kooyong, but the result not to be known on the night. If that were the case, if the Teals won 2 more, that would be 7 independents and a Green in the House of Representatives.
Now, the National Press Club, the final week normally includes a set-piece speech and questions at the Press Club. Anthony Albanese has committed to that, so that'll be his final major test. Is Scott Morrison going to appear?
I just checked a few moments ago and we're still not sure. So the last test for Anthony Albanese is that speech at the National Press Club and Q&A with journalists. Will he get any trick questions? Will Scott Morrison also give that traditional address? I'm told there is a chance that he will, but they're going to decide after the launch. If he does, I think the PM needs to inject a bit more humour into things to show another side of him. Both leaders I expect to run hard right through the week, through to Saturday, in terms of their travel commitments, as every seat counts. And just one other thing I wanted to add, Kieran, I thought it was very interesting indeed that Murray Watt, in our interview with him earlier, was saying he'd adopt the housing policy. So here's the coalition, the centrepiece, supposedly, of this launch today. I don't know if there are other announcements. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, Labor says, me too again. If elected, we will adopt that policy.
And, yeah, tragic news now. A favourite son of Queensland, I've just seen this breaking news. Andrew Simons has died in a car crash.
Really?
The police have issued a statement saying they were investigating a single vehicle crash in Harvey Range. And tragically, the news is that it was the 46-year-old Andrew Simons.
After Shane Warne's death, Andrew Simons, a great cricketer for Australia, great all-rounder. Had his troubles with on occasion. Was a commentator, I think, for Fox Sports, isn't he? Excellent commentator, brilliant cricketer. People would
one of the best fieldsmen you've ever seen.
Actually go just to watch him play. Yeah. So that's sad news indeed. A few weeks after Shane Warne's death.
Terrible news. We'll have more on that throughout the morning. Another cricketing great and a favourite son here in Brisbane and Queensland, Andrew Simons. Tragic news to wrap up the program with today. Thank you for your company.